Hey guys, so as a lot of you have seen on my Instagram, everyone has been requesting for me to do a tutorial on Quinn's French braids that I did on her recently. So I started off this hairstyle by curling her hair, and this is my new mannequin, by the way. Her name is Nicole. So anyway, I curled her hair and I used a curling wand from Conair, and it says High Energy by Conair. It's pink, has a clamp, and it's pretty basic curler, but it works really well. As you can see, all of that volume in her hair. I just love this curling wand because the thinner your curling wand is, the more curl it will bring to the hair. So I really like this one. Unless you just want a nice basic wave, then you may want to use a bigger barrel. So anyway, that's the curling wand that I used. And now her hair has so much texture and volume. Another thing you could do is, I didn't do this on Nicole, but what you can do is just use a volumizing shampoo and conditioner, and that will just help bring a lot of thickness to your hair. Perfect for this hairstyle. Okay, so this works on straight hair as well. If you want, you can curl it before, just like I did here. So I think that one of the most important things to doing this hairstyle is the part line. So you need to have a nice part line right in the middle, because, you know, if you want two French braids. You could also do this as Dutch braids. I prefer French braids. It also gives you a bunch of thickness and volume as you go into it. So I prefer French braids. For me, it's also easier, so that's just what I prefer. So I'm going to take her part line now. Let's see. It's just about in the middle, so I'm just going to start from right over here and just go down and part the hair in half. So this side, I'm just going to take a clip. Just clip it away for now. We don't need it just yet because we're going to be working with the other half for now. So the hair, what is it called? The comb that I used for this, it's called a rat tail comb. You can get it pretty much any beauty store. I'm sure they have it. I got mine at Walgreens. Yeah, it's pretty basic, but what I love about it is that it has very narrow space between all the bristles, or all the, yeah, I guess they're called bristles. So anyway, that's why I really like this one. It's from Conair. I don't know if you could see that gold writing. It says Conair. And then it also has a very narrow tip at the end, and this is used for parting the hair. So now that our hair is parted, we can begin working with the right side of her hair. Let's see, I'll stand this way so you guys can all see that. Okay, just move her around a little bit. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is just comb out her hair a little bit. You really don't want to go over any of the waves. They'll kind of make the hair frizzy, and that's not something we want. So also optional, you can add a little bit of water. It's optional because you don't want to make the hair frizzy, and if you put water on it, especially if your hair isn't naturally wavy, kind of just make it not wavy anymore. It'll make it more straight. But it does tame the frizz a little bit, so I'm just going to use a little bit of it. Also some spray wax, pomade. I would either recommend spray wax. It will probably be your best bet. It would still hold the wave, but it would make it a lot easier for you to work with the hair. So, let's see, we're going to start off by taking a small section in the front. And I'm just going to get a better angle, so 1 second guys. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can all see. And I'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay guys, so hopefully now you can all see what I'm doing here. And I guess I'll just move the camera down as I keep going. So what I'm going to be doing here is just starting off with a piece right by here. So what's really important with this hairstyle is taking in the right amount of hair. If you're just kind of taking it and, you know, not minding the part line, that's just not how it works. You won't get a nice smooth part line. So what I do is take a small piece of hair. Again, you can put a little bit more of some spray wax or even some water into it to kind of tame all of the frizz. So I'm going to divide into 3 sections because the braid has 3 sections. And then we're just going to begin a normal braid stitch. So that's what I do with French braids, Dutch braids, really any type of braid. You want to start with 1 stitch that kind of locks in the braid. So we're going to do 1 stitch. a normal, regular braid. So now, and we're doing French braids, by the way. So now you have this left piece, and this is where you're going to start adding in hair. So the reason it's called a French braid, or even if we were doing a Dutch braid, you're supposed to take from both sides. A lace braid would be just taking from one side of the head. But since we're doing a French braid, we're going to be taking and adding a piece to the left piece, and once we cross it over, we're going to do the same thing to the right side. So with the left piece, we're going to take a little bit of hair. Notice how I didn't just take any hair. I stuck to that part line, made sure I didn't go over it. And we're going to take a nice clean piece. You don't want to take it so that it's all mixed up with a bunch of other hair, because first of all, when you take it out, it's not going to look pretty. And you really need it to be a nice clean part line. So once we added in that hair to the left piece, we're just going to cross it over the middle. And now we have our right piece. So with our right piece, just so you can see a little better, with that right piece, we're going to take this another piece of hair, add it into that right piece. And then we're going to cross it over to the middle. Over the middle. So now that becomes your new middle piece. So obviously, the thickness of these first 3 strands will change because as you go on with your French braid, they will get thicker. So again, we're going to stick to that part line, take a nice, clean, even section, and add it into that left piece. So now we're going to do the same thing you would do with a regular braid. Cross it over the middle piece. So now it's your new middle piece. Okay? So now we're going to take a piece, add it in to the right side. Don't worry if the hair starts to get frizzy. You could just use a bit of spray wax, or if you don't have spray wax, a little bit of water. We're going to cross it over after we've added that piece in. So now it's our new middle piece. So it's basically just like a regular braid. You're just taking in hair and adding it to the left piece and then the right piece. So then we're going to keep going. Making sure you smooth down that hair. If you really need to, you could just use a comb to smooth all that down. But really sometimes you could just do it with your fingers and just kind of smooth it all down. Cross it over. And we're going to add hair in. And cross it over. Then add hair into that left piece. Cross it over. Add hair to the right piece. Cross it over. You want to make sure that you're maintaining that braid, and you should definitely see it as you go down the hair. So the part line will be a bit more visible, I think, on a mannequin, just because it is a mannequin. But you should not be seeing the part line too clearly when you're doing it on someone. Especially, well, in the middle, you should be able to see a clean part line. But here you want the hair to lay nice and smooth against the head. So I'm just going to keep going down, and I'm going to probably speed this part up, but I'm just going to keep going. Okay guys, so my camera actually stopped filming the video somewhere in like the middle of it, me doing the braid. But that's okay, I finished the braid and it was pretty much just the basic things that I talked about before. Make sure that the braid is very tight. The hardest part for me was probably right at the nape of your neck when you have to start braiding down regularly. And it was really hard for me to get in that last piece and then just start braiding. So my number 1 tip is keep it very, very tight. And it feels a lot better on your head too as well. I find that when I do French braids on myself too, I try to do it super, super tight so that it really stays in my head, and so it's a lot easier to take in all of that hair and just start braiding normally once you get to your neck. So as you can see, I just braided down normally and then I tied it off with an elastic at the end. It worked out pretty well, and I'm just going to do the same side, the second side, sorry, the same exact way, and I'll show you how I do that in probably, I'm going to speed it up, so yeah. Okay guys, so I finally finished the 2 French braids. I think they look pretty good, but definitely my number 1 tip that I have just proved right now is definitely keeping the braid tight. So I went back and I fixed up the part line a little bit and added it to my other braid So they both look pretty good, and the other thing I would do is maybe just go back and fluff up those ends a little bit. They look a little flat to me right now, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that right now. So again, just kind of fluff them up a little bit. That, not too much fluff. And go back and do that to the second one. Almost backcomb them. And you can even add 2 cute bows here, or maybe some ribbon or something. That would also look adorable. I usually just keep the braids like this, and I think it looks pretty good. So as you can see, taking even sections also is a big thing for French braids, and I think it makes the braid drastically look so much better by taking even pieces when you're adding in the hair. So overall, I think this was a pretty nice hairstyle, and you guys can comment down below and tell me what hairstyle you would like to see next. I'm thinking about doing maybe the 3D round braid or the heart hairstyle that I put on my Instagram, so you guys can go check that out and see what you guys would like. So yeah, overall I really like this hairstyle. There are so many things you can do with it, and it turned out super awesome. Okay, thank you guys. Remember to subscribe and like and comment. Thank you. Bye.